Hello dear students, today we are going to start poem number 3, A Thing of Beauty, from our book Flamingo for class 12th. Dear students, you must have noticed that nowadays people are suffering from behavioral disorder. Man has been so aggressive, so hostile. When we look around us, we find we are surrounded by colossal, maddening crowd far away from the cozy lap of nature. Do you know from where does this aggressiveness come from? This behavioral disorder is a result of being away from nature. Today, a child suffers from this disorder, which is a result of child's obsession with games, gadgets and internet. We are losing complete touch with nature. So dear children, stimulate your imagination or your imaginative ability to dive into the beauty of nature with John Keats in his poem A Thing of Beauty. A thing of beauty is used to describe literature, music or art especially of the 19th century that is concerned with strong feelings, imagination and return to nature rather than reason, order and intellectual ideas. Keats belonged to the second generation of romantic poet and he was a worshipper of beauty, and beauty for him was the moving spirit of his life and art. So the present poem is a statement of Keats' conviction that beauty is a heavenly thing, and this poem actually is based on a poem Endymion, and that is a poetic romance. The poem is based on the Greek legend in which Endymion, a beautiful young shepherd and poet who lived on Mount Latmus, had a vision of Cynthia, the moon goddess. The enchanted youth resolves to seek her out and so wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. So the recurring idea in the poem is the thing of beauty is a source of never ending of joy. If a thing is really beautiful, it goes on providing us joy forever. A real beauty never diminishes. On the contrary, its beauty and loveliness ever increases. Moreover, it can never be extinct. Instead, it grows and grows ever. Physical charms are perishable, but the qualities of head and heart and craft and science can be imperishable. True beauty gives us peace, just as we find peace in a garden when one is at peace with oneself and the things around. One has sound sleep, good dreams and perfect health. Beauty has a very important role to play in our lives. Without beauty, our life becomes all dull and monotonous. This is the reason that every day we pick flowers to make flowery bands and to make garland which keep ourselves connected to earth. When we look around, we find a lot of problems in the world. There is a malaise due to disappointment. There is a lack of humanity and nobility around. There are sorrows and problems. And above all, the ways of the world are wicked and corrupt. But in spite of all these negativities, if we are able to perceive beauty in something, all our gloom and sadness vanishes. So here, let's start poem number 3, A Thing of Beauty, which is written by John Keats. So the first line is, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. So here in this line, a beautiful thing is a source of never ending joy. perennial satisfaction and happiness. It leaves an indelible mark on our minds, and we relive the joyful experience whenever we think about it. In the next line, the poet is saying its loveliness increases. He wants to say that this beauty becomes more enchanting with the passage of time. Whenever we think of a beautiful thing, our joy multiplies. Third line is, it will never pass into nothingness. It means it is never forgotten and its loveliness never fades away. So, the joy provided by a beautiful thing is eternal. Next line, but will keep a bower quiet for us. A beautiful thing is like bower or a shady place. This bower means a shady place. As it is a good source of peace and tranquility, when we are tensed or tired, a beautiful thing or its memory heals the sorrow and gives relaxation to mind. Next line, and a sleep full of sweet dreams. So this beauty, that memories of beautiful objects come in the form of sweet dreams when the person sleeps. So a lovely object gives us sleep full of sweet dreams. Or you may say, joy a person gets by visualizing a beautiful things is similar to the joy of the sound sleep with sweet dreams. And health and quiet breathing. So here in these lines, the poet is saying that it is also the source of peace and health. Beautiful sights act like nutrition for a mind and thus relax and refreshes. We experience a sense of peace and serenity on seeing a beautiful thing and thinking about it. It drives away aggression and restlessness. Next line, therefore on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. So here in this line, the poet is saying that it is because of beauty that a natural object in the form of flower is used, which strengthens our attachments to the earth. And flowers in nature's the best morning gift. That's why we daily, when we wake up, we engage ourselves in the same things, and we just read a flowery band from the flowers and the nature. Next is, spite of despondence of the inhuman dearth of noble natures. So here in these lines, despair, dejection and pessimism prevails around the world. There is also a cruel shortage of good and generous people, means the gloomy days, sad and dismal and troublesome days, unhealthy and over-darkened ways, difficult, dangerous and unknown paths or roads on which the person treads. In his journey of the life, human being encounters trials, tribulations and adversities, but he tries to escape the darkness, that is troubles and the ignorance. So he searches the path out of darkness toward light, optimism and knowledge. Next lines, yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. So here in this line, the poet says that in spite of experiences, sadness and remorse, man is able to find his happiness in some form of beauty which drives away sadness from dark or gloomy life. Beautiful objects removes cloud or curtain of darkness. Pall means the thick dark cloud or the shroud, you can say. Next line, such the sun, the moon, trees, old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. So here the poet lists the object of beauty. Some are heavenly bodies such as sun and moon. Trees, whether old or young, provides shelter to the sheep, means the shady boon. That shady boon is what? That is nature in the form of trees bless the sheep with pleasant shade. So here sheep are called the simple as lambs, and sheep are envisioned as an embodiment of innocent and the serene beauty. As we know that Jesus Christ as an apostle of peace was a shepherd and was seen surrounded by his flock of sheep. So the sheep is shown as a symbol of divine beauty. Next lines are, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. This word gainst is against actually. So that here in these lines, the daffodils, these daffodils, you can see the picture of the daffodils are encased in the green leaves. True joy and happiness can be enjoyed by looking at daffodils in lush green meadows and the pastures. Rills means the small rivers or the streams which flow through the shady passage which they make to protect themselves from heat. Next lines, the mid-forest brake rich with the sprinkling of fair musk roses blooms. So here in these lines, the poet is saying in these thick forests, thickets or the bushes are covered with scented flowers. These are the natural flowers and this is called musk roses. It seemed that flowers have been sprinkled on the bushes. So that's here also the poet is looking the beauty. Next is, and such too is grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead, all lovely tales that we have heard or read. Not only in the nature's beautiful things, but the poet is looking the beauty in the different things. In these lines, the blossoming of beauty is to be experienced in the grandeur of the death of those mighty and powerful kings and the knights who fought bravely and died noble deaths. So, the beauty is visible in the tragedies as we admire the tragic ends of such mighty souls. Next lines, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. So here in these lines, the poet is saying that beautiful objects are like a perennial fountain falling from the edge of heaven, from which we receive the elixir of life. Beautiful objects are the gift of God, which has been showered from heaven. So dear students, we have learned in the poem that it revolves around beauty in all its forms, earthly beauty and spiritual beauty. The poet talks about how important beauty is for all of us. He highlights the transformation, theatrical and spiritual impact of beauty on our lives. The poet describes how beauty can be found everywhere, and the Wordsworth suggests that the beauty has a quality and the ability to cure and heal troubled minds and the bodies also. So the poet John Keats gives here the message that beauty has the ability to transform lives. It can dispel negativism and dark thoughts. Beauty can also remove the sting from grief. It can help one survive even when there is a dearth of noble natures, or when one is surrounded by hostile and malicious people. Beauty has a positive impact on one's health. It can help steady the breathing and can give one a sound sleep. John Keats suggests that beauty can be found everywhere in life. As such, he draws a list of beautiful things which include the sun, the moons, the trees and the daffodils, musk rose, blossom. Simple shape and beauty can also be found in the stories of the bravery, courage and sacrifice shown by people who were not afraid to die for a greater cause. One warning, however, is that one should not get enthralled by earthly beauty, lest one blinded to the spiritual beauty behind it. So, this we have learnt in this poem, that God who created beautiful things for us, and Keats also suggests that beauty has a spiritual source when he implies that it flows from an endless fountain in the heaven. Beauty thus a spiritual drink and an immortal drink, made especially for all mankind.